I find the political discourse today to be very frustrating, constraining, and to be honest, quite ridiculous. I was having a conversation with a good friend of mine the other day, and we were talking about this idea of there being so-called liberals and so-called conservatives, and we were having this conversation in relation to Black America. And of course, any conversation that we have in Black America, we also tend to relate to, the broader circumstances facing the American Muslim community. And when we were talking, we were saying that how on the left there is this perpetuated ideology of victimhood, right? That the left has, by and large, wanted to perpetuate the victimhood of Black America, which is very different than acknowledging and dealing with the oppression of Black America, which is very real. Like, undoubted, there has been a lot of oppression of the black community in America. But the rhetoric coming from the left has not really been one of empowerment, but really more like, let's just kind of almost like keep celebrating and having these anniversaries of issues facing the black community. And then conversely, you have the right. You have the conservative community that would like to restrict the oppression of the black community to the past, that everything that happened, perhaps, they'll sort of like grudgingly acknowledge that it happened, but it was in the past, and therefore there are no impediments today, whatsoever. And therefore the blame falls squarely upon black people to, re-emancipate themselves and free themselves again. And therefore they are the sole bearers of whatever injustices, that they now face. And my problem with this line of thinking is that I said it's akin to a person that's been put in prison who is innocent, and then telling that person from prison it is their sole obligation to free themselves with whatever resources they have at their means, right? This kind of like pull yourself up by your bootstraps type of rhetoric that we hear now. And the reality is, if you are in jail and the warden not only has the keys to the cell, but has the command of the guards, and they have the guns and you don't, and they have the legal system and you don't, it will be extraordinarily difficult to exonerate yourself and to free yourself from the confines of prison merely with the resources you have at hand. And this is what I find so frustrating about our politics, and which is why I increasingly want to move away from it. When I was having a conversation with my friend Imam Suhaib Webb the other day, I said, I don't like to be identified as a conservative, certainly not left or liberal either, but I would prefer to be self-described as a moralist, meaning that, I care about the morality that is explicit and implicit both in the Quran and in the life of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and therefore I kind of want to move beyond the BS of this partisan politics that either wants to make me a victim, or it wants to perpetrate some sort of historical amnesia upon me, and doesn't want to acknowledge the difficulties of structural racism. So I really want to move beyond these two. I find neither one of them to be empowering. I find them both to be dishonest, and that neither one of these ideologies really cares about my future, my family, my progeny, my well-being, and that it really only serves them to their greater purposes, which is really to have and maintain power, or to take it away from others and to enrich themselves with it. So just sharing some food for thought here as I'm waiting for gas at Costco.